Robbie, and to all the Rangers fans that are listening in all over the world. Good evening, and welcome to Rangers Radio.
How are you, Bridge?
I'm so bloody happy.
You're on a final written, mate. You're one slip of the tongue
right.
and you're gone.
I'm very happy.
Oh, by the way, Mr. JFK, you're on a just below that as well. You had a wee slip as well, so...
Aye, I did, mate. I apologise for that.
You get smacked for that, so you quite enjoyed it.
I did, yeah. I had my man Keno on at the time. It was flesh to flesh as well.
Shocking.
How you doing, Jimmy?
Family show.
I'm good, mate. I've got the heating on. The old blood's thin at this age, so heating's been on the last 4 nights. Warm and happy, mate, after yesterday. But yeah, everything's okay with me, mate. Hope yous are good as well.
Bridge doesn't turn the heating on to December, some week in December.
Oh, dearie me.
Whether he needs it or not, that right, Bridge?
I do what I'm told.
You still using firelighters, Bridge, man?
Firelighters. Hey, you know, it's amazing. I've never seen them again since for a long time now.
Aye.
Man, I don't do the barbecues or anything. You might use them for barbecues.
No, I don't. No, but I remember the firelighters. Anyway.
Anyway, we've not heard for the 2 years, so we're going to hear. Just get yourself a mute. We're going to hear a view from the bridge.
Take anymore. You from the bridge can take anymore.
It's over to you, Bridgman.
Wow, what can I say to that? What a lovely little ditty. Marvellous, just marvellous. No, yesterday, probably like every Rangers fan, it was what I watched that game or had the pleasure to watch that game. We were absolutely wonderful. Some of our players they reached heights that they've never probably had, or each reached in a long, long time. If the goalkeeper all the way through, just tremendous stuff. We were talking about this a few weeks ago, and you're looking for the real Glasgow Rangers. Well, the real Glasgow Rangers stood up yesterday. I thought it was a tremendous game. The new rule about penalties, so we got lucky, and let's put it that way, we got lucky with the penalties.
I think the first one's a penalty. New rule, old rule, any rule.
Yes, of course. All I'm meaning is that if it hits the hand and the hand isn't at your side, basically that's it. You're no right. There was no right. So I thought the two penalties were brilliant. Intermixed with this, one of the best goals we're going to see from a passing perspective. Just fantastic. You know, a lovely, lovely ball from Arfield right inside the big Lammy. And away he went, young Jones. That's fantastic. And a beautiful shot on the outside of the inside of the left foot. Magic, just straight in there. Just great.
I want to take you back a wee bit there. You know, I know you played sort of centre of the defence a lot. When somebody slides one of their passes weighted and some young whippets running and there's nothing you can do.
Aye, tell me about it. You better believe it. But I think that's when... from a start, I thought it was a fabulous pass by Arfield. He put it at the right slot. That Lammy couldn't do anything. He couldn't go over to the ball. He couldn't even whack the guy because he wasn't far enough. He couldn't get near enough to hit him. So that was a marvellous move by Rangers. Just great to see. That is just wonderful to watch. Imagine sitting up in your seat in Ibrox and somebody puts a pass like that, and someone like Jordan Jones runs onto it. Alfredo Morelos, anyone like that, and bangs it in the pokey. Serious, that was just fabulous. Just fabulous. Just loved it. And I thought that our young centre forward, E10, coming on, and what a first goal that was. Again, a fabulous pass from Arfield. And straight, just one touch up in the air and bang, in the net. Keeper now couldn't smell it. Just great to see. Second goal, quite a good goal as well, but that was brilliant. And of course, Tavernier, again, hats off to him, stood up, took the 2 penalties, 2 goals, and there we go. We sailed it. We absolutely sailed it, seriously. And that was 5-1. How they get that one, I don't know. Obviously, we do know because Big George, unfortunately, hit his head. And it hit his head on the corner of the 50 bob corner, you know. That's exactly what it was. If he turned his head slightly to the right, it would hit him flush and it went straight back out of the boy's head. My God, but it was hit with some power. So the goalkeeper, I don't think had any chance with it. But I'm disappointed to lose a goal like that. Well, considering where we were, that was 5 going on 10. Any time we wanted, we could have up there and put it in the net. Seriously. Brilliant. And it was lovely to see so many Rangers players getting onto the park and getting a few minutes, getting under your legs. Balogun came back in. Just great to see. And by the way, again, hats off. Hats off to all our defenders, but hats off particularly to Big Bassey. What a great performance he put on yesterday. Just brilliant. So I was a very happy Bridgman, and the view was incredible. Let's put it that way. And I don't know who a star man could be. The one I could pick out, obviously we can go for Davis because, again, he was outstanding. You could go for any one of the midfielders for multiple reasons. But I think, my personal thought, I would go with Arfield. I think all round he did a great game. And 3 or 4 absolutely first class passes, and it was involved in the penalty. Bassey ball coming across. He was in front of the guy, and he was involved in that. And 2 great passes for goals. Just great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And GFK, great performance, professional performance. Completely different from Thursday night when we won before goals. We won before goals yesterday. Complete domination,
Yeah, well, last week we used the word professional performance. I would say yesterday's was a controlled performance, mate, because that's what we did for the first whistle to the last. We controlled the game. For some of the football we played was absolutely fantastic. And what really pleased me was that Jordan Jones got a game, because like Jamie Murphy, who's gone now, unfortunately, I really rate Jordan Jones, and I'm pleased with his all-round play. And his goal was a worldly goal for me. It was a cracking team move as well. And also to see Big Shirley getting a game, a full 90 under his belt. You know what impressed me about him? His stature. He's big, but you know what else? On the deck, Oxshire, I think his passing was crisp as well. And I was really, really pleased. Really controlled performance. There wasn't a bad player in the park. We controlled the game from start to finish, I said. And like Bridgman, my man of the match was Scott Arfield, and the boy hitting his first goal. Oh, that was a cracking goal. That was brilliant as well. But it was a brilliant performance, mate. Could we go over the top of that? I suppose we could, because that's the best I've seen us play in a long, long time. And including the Braga game and that, I just thought they couldn't get near us for our passing play. It was absolutely wonderful. Ryan Kent again. Magnificent, mate. Magnificent. Great result.
Funny, I thought Ryan Kent was good in what he done. I don't think he was involved a lot. Just yesterday, just one of the games where the ball never went his way as often. But I thought, as an all-round team performance, we're quick enough to give maybe 6s or 6.5s. That for me was 8.5 as a team performance, maybe even close to a 9. Because when we got the 3 goals, we just dominated GFK. Made it easy for ourselves.
Oh, I can't argue with that, mate. 8.5s and 9s for me. We dominated, as I said. I used the word control, but it was domination. We dominated it for the first whistle to the last whistle. And look, the debate about penalties for me is nonsensical. You know, that's the rules of the game. Let's get that clear. We don't have VAR up here. That's different down there. There's a big hullabaloo down there about that shouldn't have been gave in the referee, blah, blah, blah. We don't have VAR up here, and the UEFA and FIFA regulation is there, and it's a penalty. Plain as, I know there's a lot of debates with other sources out there who don't want to see Rangers get penalties. I couldn't care a hoot. It was 2 penalties. The referee gave them. End of story for me. That's the directive. It's a penalty, and I'm happy with that.
I'm not a fan of the directive, but that doesn't take away from your point that the 2 of them were penalty kicks.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not a fan of it either, Oxshire, but they're penalties.
I think the first one is a penalty, new rule, old rule, every day of the week. You stuck your head about you stop a cross, mate. It's a penalty. Yeah. You know?
Definitely.
Bridge, in you come, mate.
I think the two penalties were 100%ers for me. I don't have a problem with them. I thought the referee said, blah 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 blah. You know, it's simple as that. It's a penalty. You know, he took his time to tell them it was a penalty. You know, they didn't do much, shall we say, claiming up about it. They never ran up to the referee and tried to surround them or anything like that. I think it was quite tame. They knew themselves. The players that done it knew themselves. Of course, being the players, they would want to say, no, I never touched it, or, you know, usual crap. But no, I think definite penalty kicks. And their claims for penalty kicks were ludicrous, just ludicrous. That's all I can say. The amount of pumping they did against Kent and others on the team. Jordan Jones got an absolute doing sometimes, get pulled back 100 times or something like that. You know, and clattered. But it's what we expected for them anyway. So, but I'm so happy. That's 5, and we're still top of the league. Wow,
Alfredo is really pleasing me, the new Oxshire, because
what a good game, mate.
He's shown a different dimension in his game. You know, we all know that he's a great goal scorer, but apart from the way he's changed his on the part, his play, it's his demeanour as well. You know, he's getting hefty knocks and he's getting back up again. He's having a wee scowl, but he's no answering to the referee. He's no mouthing off. And I'm pleased about that. I think we're all pleased about that. You know, and let's hope in the next 7 days nothing happens transfer-wise, because I think in that position that he's playing now, he had a great game yesterday. He was a 7 or 8 for me, although he didn't play the whole game. I thought he was a cracking game again, Oxshire.
I've got to be honest here, I'll put it out there. I'll ask people if they're going to phone in. I'll ask you two first, but Morelos, he's got strings to his bow now that I didn't think were there a year, 18 months ago. When he's starting to bring other people into play and he's spreading balls wide, left and right, 2-feeted, by the way. Mm-hmm. You know, and he's really becoming a more rounded player. And I'll be honest with you, Bridgman, I didn't think he had that in his game, but he's really improved.
Yeah, I've been saying that for quite a while. He's certainly the best all-round player that we've got in our squad. And I said it the other night, Kent's probably catching up on him. Maybe Stephen Davis minus 10 years would have been a better player than him from an all-round perspective. But now you see skills of Davis when he plays his own game now, and he's just wonderful to watch. And Alfredo too. I think he was a very exciting player. He excites everybody. And maybe Etienne will end up being like that as he goes on. It's a possibility. But Alfredo Morelos, I like JFK. I'm desperate. I've been saying it out there. I'm desperate for this window to shut, and Alfredo is still with us. Should I say, he wants to be with us. Let's put it that way. That's why I want him to say, I don't want to leave. I want to stay, because somebody's potentially messing him about. I'd rather he turn in and say, Steven Gerrard, I'll sign a new contract if you want. That kind of thing. That would be great. I'd love that, by the way.
Yeah. Didn't think he'd do strings to his bow, JFK, being honest.
No, that's what I see. That it's pleasing to see, and I didn't think I'm like yourself. I didn't think he had these strings in his bow. But there's two ways to look at it. He's either taking advice and he's listening to others round about him about becoming a team player, and it's not just all about Alfredo Morelos and about his temperament. Which I'm not really too concerned about his temperament. I think a lot of that is brought on by others' actions against him. So, but the other way I was talking to my boy Graham Madey, and what we were saying, maybe this is his way of saying, well, I do want a move, and I need to play my way out to get a move. You know, so either way is beneficial for us performing like that now. But if that's his thinking that he's playing this way to show that he is a player that we all know he can be, then that could be detrimental to us. Then bids could come in. So let's hope that it's no that, and that he has that the penny's dropped with him, Oxshire, and he's listened to those round about him, and elders at Ibrox who are constantly at Ibrox, like the guys like Mark Haitley and Richard Goff and John Gregg and all them, having a wee word in his ear and telling him that this is the great Glasgow Rangers you're playing for. So, you know, get your finger out. So time will tell. But the last two games, I think he's been brilliant playing in that position. I think he's been great, mate.
Yeah, I mean,
can I ask you two guys a question? You know, we were talking just a few minutes ago about transfers. Sorry?
Don't know if
No, I was going to say, I'm going to ask you, we're just speaking there about transfers and it was at JFK, it was mentioned in the...
it ain't happening, mate.
No, I'm just saying that to even think like that is just, to me, crazy, because the transfer window is not finished yet. I think the government should step in and say, right, no more transfers, done. Until this COVID thing's done and dusted, no more transfers for MD. And let it lie like that, let it go on.
The government's not going to do that, mate, when they get the VAT on the transfers, are they?
Well, of course, but if the COVID thing is stopping it doing, the chances are...
I think. Sorry to interrupt you. I think when you see what's, I mean, we don't want to get into the politics now, but I mean, I think when we see what's happening with the students now, as soon as they let them all congregate in large groups and look what's happened. So for me, as I've said for months, they ain't going to let us all gather in hundreds and thousands to go and see Rangers or any other club. So that for me is a no-no. They can go with any carrots they want to the government. The government are not going to bite.
A lot closer than Freshers Week than me, you and Bridge get.
Ah, well, that's true. Hey, don't get me wrong. I spent a few good nights up in Curlers, mate. Good suit and all that on.
Did they notice you?
Hey.
That would have been a Wednesday night. Place was full of blokes, mate.
That was
when you were younger. See, when you were younger, when I was younger, there was a pub in Byers Road down from Curlers, and it was called the Buyer.
Right.
You ever remember that one?
I thought you were going to say Tenants there. How dare you?
No. Further down into Tenants on the left-hand side, opposite.
Yeah, I remember it, mate.
Do you remember it?
Yeah.
That was one of these, I can't remember the guy's name now. Rio Stakis. It was a Rio Stakis pub.
Okay.
No, it was just to say
it
was full of students. It was always full of students, that was.
Anyway, if people want to join us, what's the number? JFK.
It's 0141 356 1972.
Where else can you join us, Bridge?
Or they can join us on Skype at rangersradio.online, and Old School Blue or Foxy will bring them in and look after them. So enjoy yourself.
If you're on the phone, phone in, hang up, and we will call you back as soon as we possibly can. I'm going to put the two of you on the spot. Who was your man of the match yesterday? JFK.
Arfield for me, mate.
Arfield.
I thought it was. I think it's a great game. I'll get you Scott Arfield.
Bridgeman.
I'm of a mind with JFK. I want to give man of the match to all of our midfield, to be honest. Mm-hmm. They're all brilliant, but Arfield, some fantastic passes, and he's shown what a valuable member of the squad he is. So I've got to give it to Arfield, really, because he's two major passes, 2 great goals.
Mm-hmm.
Who was yours, Oxjar?
That was a great question. Arfield wasn't he? That just shows you how it varied. My top 3 were Tavernier, Stephen Davis, and Morelos. So I didn't even have Arfield my top 3.
No.
But I'm not saying that Arfield didn't have a good game. I'm just saying that with that many to pick for yesterday.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, by the way.
Well, mine would have been Arfield 1, Tavernier 2, and Alfredo 3.
I just think that Davis just controlled it. He sort of counter punches, mate, just bang, 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 makes it happen. I don't know if you seen the one in the first half when they never get the ball and gave McGregor a bit of tongue lashing.
Aye.
I like yourselves. I found it quite difficult to pick a man in the match. I thought the whole team were excellent.
It's a good thing, yeah?
Oh, absolutely. There were some brilliant performances. As I say, I thought Big Bassey had a tremendous game. Absolutely tremendous game. The 2 centre-halves, well, what can you say about them? They did everything right.
The 3 centre-halves, mate. The
3 of them when they come on, yeah. But the Tavernier was excellent. Two absolute smashing penalties. Really good. And he was running up down the wing like the old Tavernier. I mean, we said this, we'll be glad to see Tavernier getting himself back to the level he was at before, and where he was a lot of spring in his step, and whatever wee knock he had, get it completely cleared. If it was an operation that was required, get it done. So I think we've got Tavernier very close to what he used to be like. And those 2 penalties were excellent. Although I must admit, he wants to take free kicks. I'm not too keen at taking the free kicks all the time. But then the other free kick taker wasn't there, Barisic.
I've got to say, I think a big shout out for Big Shirley JFK, because he came on and played. Let's just say he's got a different style to Borna, eh?
Aye.
Effective for a big fella.
Aye. Look, he's like he said that, you know what, you know, I mean, Brickhouse. But tell you, I was really impressed with him, mate. No, so much for his tackling was good and he's winning the ball in the air, but I thought his distribution of the ball, his passing, I thought was excellent for a big man. Really pleased, and that pleases me going forward, because the Barisic is out, so we bring a big guy like him in. So you're just looking for somebody to do the same for Tav, because Big Horgie's no 100% got it yet for a couple of seasons, but he has got to come good one day. But you're just looking for somebody, if we do lose Tav for anything at all, then you're looking for somebody to come right in there and step in his shoes for that game, the same as Big Bassy done for Barisic. Really pleased with his performance, mate.
Maybe that's a good point. Maybe they should, in the other games that Big George is playing in, maybe they should try him a different position to give the boy an strength his ball, mate.
Possibly, aye.
Him on and try him in that to see, you know, because he is fast, he's strong, and we know he can pass the ball, so he might be quite a centre half, but he could come on at that position all the time. I'll tell you what, mate, if Bassey and Edmondson were on the bench and the other team got a free kick at the edge of the box per minute to go, I'd take 5 players on and just put they two on.
Aye.
You'll never bend it around they two, will you, with their shoulder?
No. And that's
big fellas, isn't it?
It's good we've got that presence in defence and obviously for corner kicks, free kicks and that, you know, because we're back four there is absolutely brilliant. So that going forward, it's fantastic to see Big Bassey getting a go. I wasn't too sure when we brought him in, I've been honest, I said that on here, but time will tell, I said, and I was really pleased. I was a wee bit no dubious, but I'm saying, let's see, you know, what he's up against here today, but everything he done was controlled, mate. He didn't put a foot wrong. Really pleased.
Credit where credit's due. You can't.
Yep.
I'm just to let everybody know we're waiting for Greg. Is it Greg Stewart?
Michael Stewart.
Michael Stewart is he's going to explain to us how they won the penalty kicks yesterday.
Yeah, oh my goodness gracious. What did he say? Did anybody know what he said?
I don't know, mate. I didn't even get the time of day, mate. I just read it today.
Well, Jimmy knows, probably.
I watched it today. Like, it's not so much how can you have an impartial programme when you've got him on, who's a puddle drinking lover, and then you've got Sean Maloney, or my boy Lollipop, as we used to call him, and he is an ex-puddle drinker. How can you be impartial talking about any football? All they want to talk about is the puddle drinkers, you know. So I'm always a great believer in keep your enemies closer. So I know
that's what I'm trying to get him on to explain how they won the penalty kick.
Jimmy, I think I saw something in Follow where somebody said he said they weren't the penalties, even although they were penalties. You know, he knows they were penalties under the new law, but to him they weren't the penalties.
It went all around the swings and the roundabout. It went all the way around. He's not going to look. He's not going to give his credit, you know. So. As I say, there were penalties under the new laws, which we don't all like. It was the penalties, plain and simple. So let's not get into the debate about them.
Well,
but, I mean,
I'll say it again, JFK. The first one was a penalty, old law, new law.
Aye, all day long. All day long, mate. So I mean, so what? So I mean, if it had been the puddle drinkers, anyway, we're talking. I don't want to be talking about them because you know. They're just well, anyway.
That was the first penalty we've had in at least last October, mate, and that's what it turns into, I think.
Aye.
They don't know what to do with us, do they?
Oh,
they don't know what to think other than hatred. They don't know what to think.
Anyway, enough about them. Anyway, if you want to phone and join us, the number's 0141 356 1972, or join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. We brought in a call with Fox or Old School Blue. Phone in, hang up, and we will contact you right back. The goalkeeping position, with a great competition the first couple of months of the season. Looks as if Alan's a man in possession. JFK.
Aye, well, obviously he's got to be, mate. He's technically our number one. He's been wherever present, you know, and John McLaughlin's been brought in, and he's been a great deputy. And I wouldn't have been too bothered if it had been him or Alan McGregor in goals yesterday. But the gaffers picked Alan, so we go with that, and he'll probably be in goal for the foreseeable future. Maybe for Scottish Cup or League Cup if we get to these stages in the season. But aye, Alan McGregor for me, mate. But if he plays John McLaughlin, I'd still be a happy man, mate.
It's John McLaughlin that's been the surprise, Bridge, yeah?
I think he's been a revelation for Rangers. I don't think any of the supporters thought he was going to be that good in a Rangers jersey, But my God, he's been fantastic. And really a model goalkeeper and definitely a great substitute for Alan McGregor. Great substitute. And maybe we're doing him a disservice by saying that, but I think McGregor is slightly the better, maybe a bit more. But he's a better goalkeeper, let's put it that way. But gee whiz, I think McLaughlin's just excellent. Just excellent.
What a problem we have, JFK.
Oh, it's a great problem, mate. Definitely. But look, I mean, any return would do. Fordringham for me was a nightmare, and I was never a fan of Fordringham. So I think we've got a good able deputy in John McLaughlin. Although some say Ford's never done much wrong, but for me, I wasn't keen on him at all. John McLaughlin, I was a bit. John McLaughlin's came for Sunderland. I've seen him play. He's not a bad goalkeeper, but he's come in and proved his all wrong. He was part of the clean sheet bit we were doing there before we capitulated against the Spoonburners. So no, I'm really happy with him as number 2. But the gaffer says he doesn't have a number 1. He's got 2 great goalkeepers. I'll agree with that, and I would agree with Bridgeman. I would think Alan McGregor just shades it, mate.
Hi, and let's also talk about the centre halves position. Particularly fond of yours, Brad. You're particularly fond of.
Yeah.
We've got 2 there. We've got young boy Edmondson on his trade. Katic's injured, and we've got 2 guys that look as if they're in possession, but with 1 able deputy. What a squad we're building slowly.
Do you know, when you think about it, a lot of guys have said about Goldson for the last 2 years now, and didn't think he was this and didn't think he was that. I were disappointed in him and so on. But my goodness gracious, he's an ever present, isn't he? He's an ever present. It's just incredible. And I know he tries these long balls sometimes to go wrong, but a lot of the times they're actually great crossfield balls and good, So I think
the crossfield balls that you're talking about, mate.
Yeah.
We've added that to our game because we're mixing it up so that we push teams. Teams don't want to push up.
Yeah. I'm just surprised that a centre half can do exactly what he wants with the ball like that. And a lot of the time, 9 times out of 10, they're getting there. I just worry about how can you say it? When he zooms one across and either the winger doesn't see it, or left back doesn't see it, or the ball just keeps going for a goal kick or something like that, So you get the wee mistakes, but I think he's been a pleasure to watch for me as a centre half. I love centre halves, but I think Helander is a great partner for him, an absolute great foil, great partner. And even although we think he's slightly slow, I think we've noticed the last few games where he's managed to get back. He had a smashing tackle yesterday when he managed to get the foot in against that wee boy Watt, and it bounced off of Watt and went for a throw in. And I thought it was a tremendous tackle. How he got to that, I don't know, but he got there. Just brilliant to see. So proud of him. Great centre halves. And then, of course, the two other guys got a run yesterday, Balogun and Edmondson. And apart from the own goal, none of them did anything wrong. Really good. I think that's exciting.
Balogun, Sean, we're not run up the pitch. JFK didn't.
Well, you're right. I mean, you can see what the game we started with the back four, and then when you think who wasn't playing, Balogun, Barisic, and Katic. So it all bodes well for going forward with our back four. And as I say, I keep saying the only glitch for me is somebody to chase Tav. I'm wanting just somebody to be chasing Tav for that number 2 spot, that right back spot.
The way Tav's played the last few games, anybody chasing him, no catching him.
No, I'm no. I thought, as I say, he was in my top 3 players yesterday. But what I'm thinking is, if for any reason we do lose him, then who would? If I ask you then, Oxshire, Bridgman, Who would you put in his place
Can I just
comfortable
cut
with?
across you, but I'll leave you with this thought before we take this call. Is that your new handle, JFK? Chase me,
that?
chase me.
Chase me, chase me.
And we've been joined by a caller for the USA. Evening, well, good afternoon, caller. Hello.
Come on in.
No, not. Good afternoon, caller. No,
Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah,
how you
I'm
doing?
here.
How we doing?
I'm doing alright. How are you guys?
What's your name, mate?
My name is Jake.
Jake, where are you phoning from? I know it's the US.
Yeah, I'm calling from the United States. I don't know. I started listening to your radio.
Alright, yeah.
I was just looking for some call lines because there's a lot of stuff going on in the United States right now, and I wanted to ask if there's anything going on in where are you guys from?
Oh, we're from the world. This is a soccer show, mate. We don't really get involved with politics, mate.
You don't. Alright.
All right. Cheers. Thanks for the call, Jake. Well, that's not strictly true.
I know. Right. I'll ask you.
I
I'll
don't
ask
want
you.
to ruin my chance of getting invited to Donald Trump's for a game of golf, you know.
Right. If unfortunately that James Tavernier is out for a period of games, say 4 or 5 games, who would you be comfortable with taking that spot for that 4 or 5 games?
I don't think the young boy Parsons quite ready yet.
Right.
I don't even know if he was on the bench. I never paid a lot of attention.
He was.
He was on the bench. Well, maybe the gaffer sees Merriam and reckons he's ready if he had to put him in. But what we've seen, because he's fast and he's right-footed, Big George must be a shout, mate.
Oh, well, I'd agree with that. Big George would be a shout. Aye, definitely.
You've
But,
also got for an international right-back.
oh,
Well, he's played for his country at right-back.
you've lost me there now. Who am I? I'm trying to think.
Oh, come on, mate. Do your homework before you come on here and start over. It's a Mr.
Ryan Jack. Ryan Jack.
I'm not. I'm not going. I wouldn't play Ryan Jack here, even as a stopgap, mate. That's not what I'm asking.
He's also played. He played a lot of games there for Aberdeen. Well, a few games for Aberdeen.
Right. Okay, but I don't associate Ryan Jack with that position whatsoever. I know what you're saying. He has played there and blah blah blah. That for me is a misnomer, mate. What I'm saying is you would need an out-and-out right back, and if you're going to put Big George Edmondson in there, fair dues, right? But I'm talking about, would you be comfortable with that, or would you rather have a other right back, the same as we've got new Big Bassett as a left back for Barisic? I think we would need that.
I think if you look at Bassett, you look at his age, you look at his experience, he ain't that far away from the boy Patterson. So if you're willing to go with Bassett, I would say that your cover is Patterson.
No.
I think the boy Patterson's the cover. That's what
you
I
think so? All right,
What's the difference? What's the difference? Just because of the physique?
No, I'm just looking at the two of them, and I think the boy Patterson's going to be a great player for us in a couple of seasons. But I just think that Bassett at this moment in time does show that he's got more to offer at the position. Obviously, he's a left back. I might be wrong. I mean, if something happens down the line to Big Tav and he puts Patterson in and he makes him eat my words, I'm happy with that.
I get what you're saying. We're hoping to get real genuine cover. We've got a few players that can cover that position. But it's bringing somebody in, JFK, to tell them you're coming in and, right, okay, what position you fancy? I'm a right back, all right, okay. How do I get in this team? Well, that's my captain. How often does he get injured? Well, never.
No, I can understand that, but that works for all teams. All teams try and bring in 2 or maybe 3 players for each position, and we're no any different. But it's a good thing going forward, because if anything does unfortunately happen to Tav, I mean, we need to make sure that we've got an able replacement that can hit the ground running, and you don't want Big Patterson to freeze. I don't think Bassey would freeze. What I've saw of him, I was really pleased with him yesterday, as I said. But no, time will tell.
See just what he's like. I know sometimes you look at it and he goes before the should and things like that. His timing's a wee bit, but he's only a youngster, you know.
Yeah,
only a young man. By the way, I heard that what do you call him? Off a big.
Oh, the shoulders one. But it's just interesting I get your point, JFK, but I wouldn't say that's priority for us. Because we've got a lot of players that can maybe play there. I think we need a bit more cover in the midfield. Is Balogun right footy? He looks as if he could play anywhere.
Aye.
He looks as if we picked up a ball and said to him, I'm playing up front today, he'd be alright, didn't he, Balogun?
Aye, looks apart, mate, definitely.
No.
Aye, he's a steal, mate. He's a steal.
It was a 1-year contract with a 1-year option, mate.
Yeah.
And obviously you wait and see how it goes with injuries and all that, but so far it looks a good bit of business, Bridge, yeah?
Yes, I think after his first game, there's a lot of Rangers fans said, well, just sign him up now, for God's sake, you know. Pay the money, whatever it is, what to say. Because this guy looks a really good player. I don't know, do we know what age he is? Is he turned 30 yet?
32.
32, right. So still quite young compared to what we've got. Some of the guys we've got in our team. But you'll get good service out of him, particularly if you want to keep him on the bench, use him as a subby. You'll get good service out of him.
Yeah.
But I would imagine he if he doesn't get injured a lot, then you're going to find that maybe Hellander's going to drop out. And I feel this sincerely. Maybe Hellander's going to drop out and Balogun will play.
Remember Davy Weir, Bridgeman?
Oh, I understand that. I'm not stupid. I played
I
till a right good age myself. But I'm under no illusions. It gets tougher, and you don't want to run as much. That's for sure. So you play most of your game round about if possible, round about the centre circle until it comes up near you and you start to back off and let the goalkeeper get it. You know.
Yeah.
That can I.
Anyway, if you want to join us, give us a phone. What's the number, Bridgeman?
0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. We've got in Fox or Old School Blue. You're on the phone in, and we will call you back. What can we talk about, JFK?
You can talk everything and anything about the Glasgow Rangers, the famous Glasgow Rangers.
We could do world politics just for the evening if somebody wanted. Imagine him in a university in the USA saying, well, listen to this show, see where you pick up what's happening all over the world. Do you listen to this?
Rangers Radio.
What's happening over there?
Shot JFK.
We have our own JFK. We don't
should I say to you, would you like to speak to JFK, see what kind of reaction you get? What? Oh, dearie me.
Oh, should have laughed, really.
Actually, the public, the American public would probably vote for you, JFK.
Probably.
They quite like the other one.
Especially the front of the marching band.
See what Magpie Jers put in there. JFK, remember Davy Weir. This is no wonder the septic tank phoned in to talk politics.
Oh, brilliant.
Dearie me.
He talked about Goldstein, mate. 116 games he's played for us. You know, and over just two and a bit seasons. It's a remarkable amount of games, JFK.
Oh, it's fantastic, mate. You know, brilliant. And then, you know, you look at the partnership he's got in there, and you look at to the right of him as Tavernier. I mean, 52 goals in 253 appearances. Absolutely fantastic for a right back, mate. And big Golson pitchy. My thing about Golson at times is and Bridgeman used the analogy there not long ago. Sometimes he does a ball as if he's got a thruppy bit in his head. You know, I've just wished some of his direction with the header sometimes, especially going for goal. He does a ball, it kind of comes off his head as if. Well, for those who don't know a thruppy bit, it's like a 50 pence.
You know who the most surprised person is when the ball doesn't hit the net? Him.
Aye.
How did that go like that? Your head's in the wrong shape. That's what.
That's his only flaw. If that is a flaw, everything else about him, I think, is he's a cracking player.
Well, we questioned him at times.
Yep.
But this season, I've got to say he was consistent. I don't think he did his greatest game on Thursday night, by the way, if I'm being honest.
No, I agree with that.
You know, he wasn't poor, but he didn't have his greatest game. But yesterday he was back to his best, Bridge.
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, he's a pleasure to watch. For someone like me, and maybe other guys in the lobby don't the same. Don't like him as much as I do. But I think he's been the foundation for Steven Gerrard for our team. And like it or not, I think that's the way it's going to be. And the boy's going to play. He's going to play and play and play. Now, I know, is in the 28, 29 bracket, as far as I'm led to believe.
I'll tell you exactly what age he is, Bridge. Date of birth, he'll be 28 the week before Christmas.
So we've done very well. And if we get another 2 years out of those legs at centre half, you'll be doing very well. We need to reshape the team to allow him to play any longer. I would suggest.
How can you say that Balogun at 32 can play on and he's still got 4 years to catch up with Balogun?
I'm talking about all I'm saying is that with him, when you think about Goldson, he plays the way he plays football. He has to do a lot of running. That's what I'm meaning. Mm-hmm. So he's got to do a lot of running because he plays virtually out in the right wing for a lot of the game. You know, that's where he gets his space, and he's always the man the goalkeeper, nearly always a man the goalkeeper passes the ball to. So there's quite a lot going for him there. But he's only 28, so you're going to have another couple of years before he has any other problems and being able to keep running. It's just the same as we're speaking about Davis. You've got to mothball him a wee bit, wrap him up in cotton wool, because he's got plenty of skills, but you don't want him to get injured or you don't want him to run out of legs. Because that's happened to everybody. But no, they can't all be Davy Weirs, that's for sure.
No. Anyway,
that's a pity.
We've been joined with Denver. Denver.
Oh, Denver Bear.
How you doing, guys?
Well, he's going to tell us in some exotic place. Like
what's happening in America? Something happened that we don't know about.
I just put JFK's name forward for president. Take it plus your A2 pumpkin heads we've got in line the news. So JFK, you're the new improved JFK. Of the proper.
Well, the first thing I would do, Denver, is I would declare a national holiday every 12th of July.
No, wait, if you want to win votes, JFK, what you should have done is said it's for the 4th to the 12th.
Well, I could have done that, aye, but anyway, I'm up for that. President, JFK for president.
But you would need to be Republican. You'd need to be a Republican. You couldn't be a Democrat.
Well,
you don't just be a prodigy.
Your own party, Bridge. You know, you get rid of these pumpkin heads that we've got to do.
Very good, Denver. Very good. Your own party.
Just a loyalist party. That's it.
There you go. That's it.
I can't see JFK picking many votes up in Boston. This one, look, JFK.
No, never. Aye.
Or the wrong side of New York.
I would just like to be represent Orange County. That would do me.
Oh, that'd be fabulous, mate.
As long as you put me forward as your running mate, your vice president, Jimmy, will be good to go.
Definitely, Denver.
We could pass all that stuff and nobody would know what
I'll be honest with you, Denver. He was going to go for Mariah Carey, and I don't know if you would get the edge over her.
I don't know.
This is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant.
Did you see the game yesterday, Mucker?
I did. I loved it. It was really good stuff, man. They just played some great football, you know. I can't, you know, it's hard to believe, or it's not hard to believe, when you're listening to Radio Clyde and all that nonsense, and they're talking about how controversial the penalties were. What a load of absolute crap that is, man. Unbelievable.
I'm going to give you a wee bit of advice, Denver.
Aye.
Don't listen to it.
Well, you know what, Ox, the thing is that I'm so far removed to getting all the football stuff, So I listen to it. I just, it's one of the things. And then, because, it's like the Catholic show, you listen to that, and then you guys come on, and then everybody's absolved and all that. It's all good stuff,
I don't know how to take that, Bridgeman.
When I put it on at 11 o'clock in the morning and I keep counting down the minutes to you guys come on at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, not good.
How do you cope with it all then, Denver?
Cope with what, Bridge? What is that?
All these different programmes with all the different viewpoints on how Rangers are doing.
You can imagine the language, Bridge. You can imagine, it's a surprise you don't hear me from 5,000 miles away there in Knightswood or wherever you are, just cursing and swearing at them, Mr. Keevins gets it in the ear every day, I'll tell you.
Yeah, just for the record, Bridge is nowhere near Temple. He's in.
Did you get that photograph I sent you yesterday, Bridge?
I saw, and you said it was an image here, but I couldn't open it, pal.
Did you not open it? No. It was a good photograph. When I was up in Golden last week, that's where the Wild West starts. So I thought it was a good photograph, and I tried to send it to you. So maybe you could get in touch with me, and I'll send you a few.
You can post it on Skype. Can you not post it on Skype?
You'll be all right on here today. I'm on the right couple of Cowboys, Denver.
Very good.
Giving it a big old yee-haw, eh? So the game was great yesterday. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'll take my hat off to Motherwell. They didn't do the clogging we normally do. They did a few cloggers right enough, I was really surprised. I said to my boy, I was texting my boy, and I was saying, you know what, they're going to set up wee Morelos to get booked here, because he was getting kicked off the ball, and I was sure that Madden would have found some way of booking him, but fortunately he didn't do that, so that was good.
All right, we've also been joined by Dutchie. Evening, Dutchie.
Good evening, Oxygen. How you doing, mate?
Come and help me with these ruffians I'm surrounded with this evening, mate.
Yeah, I hate to disappoint you. I'm not going to give you any politics or social affairs or history tonight.
Hey, Dutchie, you need to take care of my social affairs after telling me it's time to have a drama at 5 o'clock in the morning.
No, you should explain, mate. I said to you yesterday, you should have a dram for every goal that Rangers scored. Little did I know it was going to be 5. In fact, it should have been 6 because we actually scored the 6th goal as well. I'm sorry, mate. I think you have to contact Alcoholic Anonymous for that.
All right, Dutchie, I'll do that. I'll tell my wife to get in touch with him.
Again.
Just as well, you're a long way from the north of Scotland.
Aye.
How are we doing, Dutchie? What's on your mind?
Fine, mate. Yourself? Yeah, I was like everybody else, chuffed a bit yesterday. I thought after the first goal, after the first penalty, should I say? Here we go. And funnily enough, it was a penalty how we started off with a 4-0 against Villentray as well, wasn't it? That was a penalty. Got us going. So yeah. So I was just saying to Mrs. Dutch earlier on. I said, look, that was 4. Forget about the Hibs game. 4-0, 5-1. What's going to come next? I'm confident that we're going to win against Galatasaray. And seemingly the local press are feeling the same, but they're all saying, oh yes, Rangers is going to. I think we're getting respect back again, Oxshire.
GFK.
I'm off about Dutchie saying I said to you last week, somebody's really going to get a doing off us, and I thought it was going to be Motherwell yesterday. I managed to catch half an hour of the Galatasaray game. It was very poor to watch. I'm confident that the way that we're playing now, I think we're more capable of beating them quite comfortably. Oxy, I know you'll talk about that nearer the time, but I'm really confident we'll get a result, especially as at Ibrox, And the big one for me after that, I think we play on Sunday. I know I'm jumping forward. I think we could beat Ross County about 6 or 7-0, mate. Easy.
Aye. Right. And by the way, I think you're right about the doing. I don't think the doing was yesterday. I think the doing will be played when we play constantly for a match, and if we'd have done that yesterday, God knows what that could have been, because we knocked them off about for about half an hour, didn't we?
Yep.
you know. Touchy, been in contact with anybody at Holland? Have you been gloating any?
Yeah, I was chuffed to bits with the Willem II, not Willem II, result that evening and yesterday as well, because a lot of the people there kind of look down on us and think, oh, Rangers hasn't been doing well and Celtic is doing so much better. But no, pride, my own personal pride and also local pride. I mean, we were going for a walk tonight along the River Nairn, where I live in Nairn, of course, and there was a lot of kids playing football, and about half a dozen kids were wearing Rangers tops. You know, I think the youth is believing in our club again. Everywhere you go, you used to see nothing but the hoop shirts for a long time, but now you see the blue shirt of Rangers again, and a lot of people aren't frightened anymore to admit who they support, and that's only a good thing, you know. I mean, if my eldest boy or my youngest boy is listening, they would hate me for telling you. When they were wee boys at playgroup, my eldest boy came home and says, "Mum, I want you to get me a Celtic top," and his mum from Italy says, "No, you're not." Of course, we told them which team they should support, and they were always since then, of course, fervent Rangers supporters. And our favourite player at that time was Michael Maltz, and they had their tops with a Maltz name written at the back of it. But it just shows you how you can be influenced by your schoolmates, you know. But no, it's more Rangers up here now than I've ever seen before. People are now beginning to show their pride that they support the team that they love. Aye.
I mean, I would have told the boy then, well, you can do that, son, but you need to get a new house, you know.
Yeah. I'm actually tempted to go up next Sunday to Dingwall to see the team coming in, because years and years ago I got tickets from Dick Advocaat.
I wouldn't go next week, mate, because the game's at Ibrox.
Oh well, okay. I wasn't sure what it was. No, but I've got happy memories when Dick Advocaat came out of the coach with the old team. That was Bert van Lingen was his assistant manager at that time. And I always remember there was a Rangers supporter coming towards him at the dugout at Dingwall Station Park, and he had cerebral palsy. The boy was terribly disabled. But Dick Advocaat, what did he do? He actually hugged him. So I thought that was a very nice gesture. You know, he was a great guy, and those days were wonderful.
Yeah,
and we had some great memories of it. You know, can I ask you guys a question? Any word about Uribe coming back?
We're picking up that he was back in the gym training today.
Was he? Aye.
Back in the gym. That doesn't mean he's in full training, but he's starting to do some work in the gym. I don't know if you picked up that, JFK.
I'd read something that he'd done a bit of light work exercises and that, but I mean, I don't think you'll see him back. He'll not be back for the Puddle Drinkers game. I think, look, if he's got as bad an injury as we all think he's got, them, as well just letting him rest. Team's playing all right there now, and I know he was playing like a world star before he got the injury, but no, let him just heal properly and bring him back. And if it is a Puddle Drinkers game, fine, but for me, I think that's a game too early for him. So,
remember, we've got a 2-week break as well, so he could be back, mate.
Yeah.
Bridgeman, did you pick that up? Maribo? No, Bridge has left us. Him and Roof back in training today, Dutchy, that's what I picked up, both in the gym. So the squad's getting stronger, mate. Yeah.
Well, he was always a great player, and I thought the last time I saw him play, he was particularly good, and we would be so much better for him coming back. But no, there's no point in bringing him back before he's fully fit, because that, yeah. Can I also, guys, if you don't mind me making what I should have done the last time? We mentioned for my mate Ronnie Bell. He was always in the lobby for a while, and he hasn't been keeping too well. He's probably listening. I'm sure he's listening at the moment, sitting at home. But I feel so sorry for the guy, because he's been waiting for a hip replacement for a long time. He's probably killing me for telling everybody on Rangers Radio. But no, he cannot walk very well, and he's got other problems as well. And he would love to go to Ibrox. So one of these days we're going to meet up at Ibrox, and we would love to go to the bistro and all these things. All the things that we've taken for granted. Things like Ronnie, these guys have been missing all of this anyway, but never mind COVID-19, so goodness knows when we're going to be back in a position to meet up again. It would be really fantastic. I know that it's going to be an almighty party everywhere, once we can go back. But the big question is, it's going the wrong way now at the moment. So whenever is this going to come back, and in what form? I'm sure there's going to be loads of Ger supporters at Ibrox coming to the Galatasaray game. I'm sure there's going to be guys at the bistro, although we've got to keep a 2 meters distance. I'm sure there's going to be supporters outside. When I hear supporters singing on the telly, obviously it's piped in. I was convinced it was at the Willem II game. There was, as I said to my wife, listen to that. That's Rangers supporters singing outside in Holland, because there would have been plenty of guys going to that. I wouldn't have put it past them, But no, it was unfortunate. It was piped in, and it would have been great if the players heard that sort of thing as well, because the players, I'm sure, would be inspired by such enthusiasm.
Oh well, you're going to hear a wee tune that you might like for the Rangers. So get yourself.
Guys, I'm going to have to dash.
Cheers, Denver.
I'm going as well, Denver.
Oh, cheers, Denver.
All the best, guys.
All the best to you, pal.
Remember your words earlier on. You didn't think he had it in his game, Morelos. And the same thing is going to happen with the young player of the year this year, George Hagi. Remember. So remember who told you first, Ox. All right.
Thanks for the call.
How could we forget you?
All the best, guys.
Cheers, Denver.
Cheers, Denver. Get yourself in mute. We're going to have a tune for your Fox.